Hello Libra, welcome. So awesome to have you here today. And welcome to Ruby Rose Tarot, and we're going to cover your December 2019 reading, a general tarot reading for your sun, moon, and rising signs. I am getting over a cold, so if there's a sniffle every now and then, or I've been running out of breath a little bit, lungs still aren't quite at full capacity, that's why. So, and also why I've just, threw on some glasses and put the hair up, and I just don't care. No, I care about you guys, but the look thing, nothing like being ill to make you get rid of vanity, which is a good thing. So with that said, if you're new to my channel, I'm so excited to have you here. If you enjoy and resonate with what's being said, you can hit the subscribe button, which could also be good too, because I am going to do the 2020 forecast coming out soon, in a couple weeks. I'll be doing those. And for those returning, so excited to have you back. The way my readings run, I pull a general energy card, overall energy for the month, and then I pull 6 tarot cards to help me kind of tell the story of how your month will go. And if I have to, I'll pull some more clarifier cards just to see if I'm having trouble trying to pin down some energy. Sometimes, every now and then, the cards will totally tell a story, and then every now and then they're up and down, which could also be your month, very up and down, depending on what's going on. So know that. I'm not doing an astrological overview. I'm going to just do a general one that I'm going to throw out there with these. But I will be bringing in some astrological stuff pertinent to your sign. So, which I was kind of doing anyway, but I'm just really trying to condense it. So with that said, away we go. So, what is awesome, speaking of tarot and astrology, is the first year energy oracle card that I picked out is Journey, number 2. Which is fantastic because the sun is in your 3rd house, which guess what the 3rd house rules? Travel. So yeah, whether you're traveling for the holidays or you're moving, I think for some of you there's a big move at the beginning of the year. You got a job and you're moving somewhere. All that is totally looking good. That energy is definitely in your favor if that's going on. Try not to do it until the 9th of December. So Mercury comes out of retrograde on the 20th. However, there's what's known as a shadow period. And for me, what I've noticed is always the shadow period tends to be the roughest. It's usually the going in and the going out. Those shadow periods, for me personally, tend to be the roughest time that I feel Mercury in retrograde. Sometimes right in the middle of it. Not so bad. For others, it's bad. It just depends on your placements. But that should be careful. That shadow period still goes on until December 9th. So if there's any contracts, if you still need to really travel, try and wait till after the 9th to let that go down. But for the overall energy for the month of December, travel looks good. If you have to move for work, all that stuff is the energy is very, very in your favor. You might be, if you're have a business or you normally kind of travel, you might actually be on the road a little bit more this month. Just be conscious of that. But all that's going on for you guys. Which is good. What else? Just really quick. Oh yeah, the other one I wanted to point out was, so also you maybe feel really aligned with writing, editing, publishing. All those things are also highlighted going on. So if you're a blogger or any of those things, or if you want to be a side hustle, you always want to try, I don't know, all of it is a good time to be creative and explore that. And with that said, let's move on. The other thing I wanted to bring up though with Journey, and this kind of came up as I started pulling up your cards, as everything is, there's never one meaning to things. This does resonate astrologically with what's going on. But the other thing that came up for me was you need to be process oriented and not results driven. Some of your Librans are getting a little too focused on the result and not what's going in to get the results, right? It's about the journey. It's about the journey, not the destination. We all know that. But we become results driven instead of process driven. And for me, that's really resonating highly with a lot of Librans out there. And your cards kind of reflect that. You have some wonderful energy that's going in your favor. And we're going to pull it up and think, the other problem you have a little bit going on that's also coming up is ego. And ego even in ways that you need to be conscious and aware of. So for instance, Libra, and you're a cardinal sign, and you know that you're the sign of the negotiator and the peacemaker, and that's great. But ask yourself sometimes if you're taking this role as a peacemaker to be a martyr, right? Because it gives you an ego boost, right? Or is it really what's best for the situation? And what's kind of funny, and we'll get to this more, is I feel like, well, I'm just going to pull these. It's asking me to pull these cards out, so I'm just going to do that. Whew. You got a lot of swords. So you got the Five of Wands, which is a transitional card. And I feel, there's a lot of different ways to interpret the Five of Wands. Some people think this means you'll be out going doing social events. I'm like, all these guys look like they're attacking each other with their wands. To me, it can be a contentious card. It can be a card of being defensive. It can be a card of self-defense. You feel a need to be defensive, which is something I also feel with some Librans right now. You need to watch your defensiveness. You want people to take your criticism of what they need to do to improve their communications, right? You want to be the peacemaker and you point out what so-and-so is doing wrong and what so-and-so is doing wrong when communicating and how they can compromise and make it better. But you're not doing a really good job of getting and receiving your own feedback from others. And that's kind of what I'm picking up with this card. And also to be careful if you are constantly putting yourself in these situations where you can be the peacemaker and you can be the hero. I'm really picking up, you need to stop. You need to let other people just work out their own shit, is basically, we'll just give you the Reader's Digest. You need to let other people work out their shit. You don't need to be the knight charging in all the time to save the day. People have their own battles that they need to fight. They need to learn their own lessons. You need to step back and have that. And what's interesting is that you are starting to realize that a little bit. It's starting to take a toll a little bit. We're going to put it next. All these cards came out, and it was interesting. I pulled a clarifier and I got the Ten of Swords. So you're getting all the really dramatic, really, really dramatic sword cards, which you are air. Swords represent air. And then we're going to talk about the other ones that are down here, the beautiful ones. It is a bit of a roller coaster. Like I said, this is a little bit of an up and down for month, but I pulled these cards because I wanted you guys to see. So just focusing on all the sword cards, right? So this Eight of Swords is that you're trapped in your own mind. I love she's blindfolded and she's in these swords. In the Rider-Waite deck, it's really interesting. She's blindfolded, she's actually standing, and she could just walk straight out of the swords if she could see and trust, but she won't. She's just almost like trapped within her own thoughts. And to me, I feel like a lot of this is trapped within your own identity, right? You feel like you have this role to play. You feel like this is what you should do. You have to fulfill this role. And it's not working for you. It's not. And what happens is here comes this Seven of Swords that comes along and says, it's not working for you, right? Sorry, someone's alarm went off and I was like, that better not go off a long time. Yeah, so this is saying you need to switch your tactics. You need to switch how you see your need to intervene. And maybe as well, this just came in for some of you, maybe some of you think you need to come in and be the peacemaker and it's not going over well. Maybe you're not handling the situation. This is saying you may need to change your tactics on that as well. But there's a big shift. I just feel like this is just coming back to identity and who you feel you are and who you think you need to be and not really who you are, right? And I feel like that's where this Ten of Swords comes in. It's a little bit of this surrender, a surrender to self, right? To me, this is, what voices are you listening to? That just came in. Like, what voices, sometimes, is it a parent voice? Is it a coach's voice? Is it a teacher's voice? What voice is my voice? There's so many other voices in my head. What's my voice? What is my true, authentic voice? Who am I truly? Right? And I feel like some of that's for you this month. Like, I just want to be me. I don't want to be this idea of me. I don't want to be this idea that people have of me. I just want to be myself, my authentic self. And I feel like that's playing in a lot for some of you this month. I do. And a little surrendering to the voices in your heads, right? To these thoughts and these ideas of who you need to be. And getting a little bit back to heart. Because what's interesting, so fascinating, is you have these really feminine cards come up. And yes, I think the Page of Cups is still a bit feminine because, you know, he is. Sometimes he can be the Princess of Cups, sometimes in certain decks. Instead of doing knights and pages, they'll do a prince and prince. So, to me, a page is a feminine. It's a little boy energy. It's a feminine energy, androgynous, you know. And so you have the Star, which is a beautiful start to your reading. Amazing. Then this fabulous Page of Cups was the second one. And then this was actually the third one that came up. No, I lied. I'm sorry. I don't mean to confuse you. So this was first, third, and then this was the fourth. So you have what I feel is this divine feminine energy pouring into you. And I think this is just to tell you and reiterate to not use the dominant masculine energy to force things to be the way you want them to be. Again, what is the idea of you and what is the actuality of you? You know, divine feminine is about being true and instinctive. You know, I mean, think about divine feminine. It's intuitive. It's instinctive, right? It's soft. It doesn't force things the way masculine energy. It doesn't plow through things. And I feel like some of your Libra energy lately, for some of you, not all, again, depends on your placement of planets, but for what I'm channeling for some of you, has been a bit more masculine, right? I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to be results-oriented. I'm going to get this done. I don't care what it takes. And I think this month, with a little bit of the travel that's going on, being on the road, being or whatever, or seeing friends and family or whatever, it's making you reassess things in a really powerful and intuitive way. There is definitely a wish that you have that the energy is saying is yours. It's yours. But you can't, you know, again, talk about divine feminine. It's talking also about divine timing. This will happen. You're going to get your wish. You're going to get your wish. But it happens in divine timing and not your timing. Right? But, you know, you have this Page of Cup coming in. I feel like, for some of you, it just, that's interesting. That came in. For some of you, you're going to get, I feel like someone's going to come from out of the past and slightly reconcile with you. Like ask for a little forgiveness on something. Or you're going to ask someone forgiveness on something. That's interesting. Like, hey, I behaved badly. Can you forgive me? I feel, oh, that's interesting. That's coming in right now. Sorry, guys, spirits. You have a lot of, oh, that's, okay, yeah. There will be a lot of forgiveness work done this month. And you should look into, I think there's a great video on Mind Valley about forgiveness work and how it works. And it takes the load off and you feel better. I feel like it's like that. I feel like someone is going to come and ask you to forgive them. Or you're going to ask someone to forgive you, or both ways. There's a reconciliation that's going to happen. It's so interesting. And it's going to be really good for you. And it's going to help you really see, like I said, that identity thing. Am I really being me, being true to myself? I want to be more true to myself, and I want to be forgiving. I think it's going to be, wow, that's interesting. Whew, that was really, I'm sorry, I got like goosebumps and chills on that. That's very pertinent for some people. And then you have this beautiful, beautiful High Priestess energy coming in. This is all about love and intuition, which is so interesting because I think you guys are going to battle a little this month with that. You know, so here we are with these This is an intuitive card to me, although this is a sign of Virgo, which is your other earth sign. So, but she's playing with the water, right? So that's emotions. It is, to me, she's doing it by the moonlight. She's feminine, playing in the water, earth sign. Again, I feel this is divine feminine. This is love, messages of love, right? And then you have the high priestess, which is the highest of divine feminine, and then throw in like maybe the empress, right? But this is the highest of divine feminine, right? And I love it in the moonlight, right? Again, water. Notice these things, right? Cups is representative of water as well. So you have all these emotional, intuitive things going on. See how beautiful and light they are? Now compare those to your swords cards, your air cards, which are not as light as some other air cards. They're very heavy and deep. This is going on a little with you guys this month. There's a little war between the thoughts and the feelings and the emotions. The feelings and emotions need to win. You got to clean up the thoughts, right? I can tell you, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Bruce Lipton, there's another guy, Divine Matrix is another great one. There's all kinds of data, guys, if you don't know. When your thoughts and your emotions align, you have it with full feelings, when you're fully aligned, that's when the amazing shit happens. If your thoughts are running free and your feelings and you can't deal with emotions and you're just at war with yourself internally, you are not going to manifest anything. And it's just also a really terrible, awful place to be. Right? So I feel like some of you want to be really this is totally it, guys. You want to be really intellectual, right? You want to be really logical and really this. That's not what the universe is saying you need to be. It's not working out for you. It's really not. Sleepless nights, in your head, racing thoughts. You can't have a quiet mind, right? If you're having to check Facebook and this and you can't meditate and you can't be at peace. This is saying this is the better way. Emotional alignment, right? Alignment with source. Head, heart, right? Even root chakra down there, they're all aligned. Your emotions, right? See how designed and beautiful they are? You have to, you have to start struggling, Libra. I don't know if struggle has just become like, that's life and I have to struggle to live, or because I'm struggling, I'm doing something wrong, so you're beating yourself up. Either way, neither one is serving you. So you need to you need to do some meditation and you need to quiet this mind. And literally, like, do me a favor, guys. Do a week. There was a great video I watched recently about distraction, right? How distracted are you getting, Libra? Because I have a feeling, and just do it for a week, right? Watch how much, whenever you have an uncomfortable feeling, how much are you going for the phone? Are you playing video games? Are you zoning out? You're not staying with an uncomfortable thought or feeling, and you're just allowing yourself to be distracted. You know, I think this is what's happening a little bit for you. And what is coming through on these cards is the energy is with you. You have amazing, powerful, you're a cardinal sign for Pete's sakes. You have great alignment with your stars, you know, astrologically, the energy is good. You're just battling a little bit with self, and hence this card to me. I have a feeling that this is a little internal conflict going on. Could be, and sometimes when internal conflict goes on, external conflict matches that, right? So, you know, you have such powerful energy with all this divine feminine. I think part of it, and I love that Ten of Swords that came up, is so much of it is stop struggling and just surrender. What if you just surrendered and let go and stop fighting so hard? What would happen? What would happen? You're going to be okay. You're a cardinal sign. You're fine. You have the strength, you know? Matter of fact, I'm just going to, you know, if you just let go and stop holding on to the cliff for dear life. You know, I think there's an old, you know, I think it was something where, there was a climber and he was on a cliff and his line broke. It was in the middle of the night and he fell and he was hanging there and he asked God, he's like, God, you have to save me, you have to save me. And God says, just cut the line, you'll be fine. He's like, no, I can't cut the line, I'll fall to my death. And God's like, no, just cut the line, you'll be fine. And he's like, no, I can't do that. So then the next morning, people find the climber and he's frozen, right? Because he didn't last the night, he's dead and he's hanging and he's only like a foot from the ground. And I feel like it's kind of like that. Like you feel like you're hanging onto the cliff and you're like, I can't let go because I'm going to fall to my death. I'm like, no, the ground's right there. You're going to be fine. But the fear in your mind is bigger than the reality. Does that make sense, Libra? Oh my gosh, I pulled a clarifier card. You got the Ten of Swords again. I reshuffled it. So it is. You guys have got... You have got to surrender. You have got to let go. You have just got to free fall a little bit. You have just, I think, you're gonna be fine. But the stress of whatever's going on with you, like literally start with a hot bath. And I want you to like, here's the thing to do. Take a hot bath and play Baroque music. So Baroque music has this amazing, or Tibetan bowls, or gong meditation, right? You hear the gong, it's a ring. If you play those actually align the right and left hemispheres of your brain. So that's what you need to do. You need to like soak in some water. I think you should, like with the divine or whatever, or have moments. And don't listen to other music. Listen to music that helps harmonize your brain and get you in sync. I think that's a killer, and you just need to relax and let go and stop doing a little bit. That was the other thing that just came in right now. Stop doing so much, right? You feel like you have to go. You're gonna go out until you poof, right? No, take a moment for self, get realigned, reevaluate. You're gonna be amazing. I just wanted to see if there was one more clarifier card that will come out, and they're just really stuck now. And oh yeah, see, as I'm talking about that, what's the other? Ten of Pentacles. See, and I talked about that after taking time for yourself. I love this. Look at, he's playing this card. It's amazing. He's playing with the baby. He's enjoying his dog, right? Do you see what I'm saying? Slow down. You need to quiet this. Incorporate some meditation in. Go for runs, whatever. But there needs to be some reconnection with self, not identity, with self, with authentic self, with I ams. Maybe you need to get up in the morning and do an I am journal, right? Every morning, I am a perfect being of light, a pure and perfect being of light. I am charismatic. I am powerful. I am an extension of source. You know, whatever it is, you need to write some I ams down, or a gratitude journal, or meditate, or all of them would be amazing. But you're just, I think what's happening, I'm kind of picking up your go, and you don't realize how struggling and tired, or maybe you do. But this is the month that supports you in that. It so supports you. This energy is like, Libra, we got you. Source is like, I got you. I got you. Just let go. The ground's right there. You're fine. So with all this crazy holidayness, take care of self, especially with the traveling, because that's in the cards. With the traveling, make sure you're taking care of self. You know, if there's a cocktail hour, maybe you just need to go up into your hotel room and order in, and like I said, take a bath, or just meditate, or whatever, or go to bed early, right, and get some rest if that's what you need. I heard another great thing. I heard we're exhaling all the day. You know, if you're doing presentations, you're traveling, if you're exhaling all the day, sometimes you need to take a moment and go inhale, right? If you're expending energy with everybody and traveling on the road, or traveling with relatives, or whatever, and you're expending, you need to stop and take a moment to inhale for yourself, right? You got to replenish. You got to recuperate, right? So take care of you, Libras. All right. Guys, I am wishing you so much love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance for this month and for your holidays, and so much joy, right? Until next time, namaste.